This is exactly how I lost 15 pounds of stubborn body fat, even while working 50+ hour weeks, including the night shift. If you have a similar work schedule to mine's, where the days that you work changes week after week, or maybe you yourself work 50+ hour weeks, or even possibly you work the night shift, and you think to yourself that, man, I want to get in shape, but you probably realize that you have very little time to get in shape. If that's you, this is the video that I wish I had at the beginning of my journey, because it would have shortcut the time that it took for me to reach my goals. So I'm gonna share everything that I did that worked for me, and hopefully it can help you out on your journey. Without further ado, let's get into it. The first thing that I did that really helped me on my journey was I had to know my numbers. Now, what do I mean by that? Everyone tells you that you need to be in a calorie deficit. And to me, that's common knowledge. I needed to know how much of a calorie deficit do I need to be in. Does that mean I eat 1,500 calories? Does that mean I eat 2,500 calories? What is my number? So in order to help me figure out my number, I went on Google and I typed in TDEE. Now that's an abbreviated form for total daily energy expenditure. And all that means is how many calories am I burning simply to breathe, simply to live. That means that's the calories that I'm burning not exercising. That's the calories I'm burning just eating regularly. So once I figured out my total daily energy expenditure, that gave me a baseline. That gave me something to aim for. And again, it wasn't 100%, but it gave me somewhere to start. So once I figured out my total daily energy expenditure, the next thing I needed to figure out is how much of a deficit should I be in? And when I did my research, it seemed to be that 500 calorie deficit, that's the gold standard. Now, everyone says that that amount of calories is sustainable and you won't feel hangry over the period of your fat loss journey. But through trial and error, I found a little hack. Because initially what I did was I started taking 500 calories immediately from my nutritional diet. And it did work for me, but my experience, what I found was that over time that I felt it was too restrictive because 500 calories, that's a lot, and I love to snack. So what I found that worked for me again was instead of taking 500 calories all at once from my nutritional diet, I took 250 calories from my nutritional diet. And the other 250, I burned that through physical activity. So what this looked like for me, the 250 calories that I burned through physical activity, I either did that through strength training or even I used a treadmill on a level 12 at a speed of 3 or 3.1 for 20 minutes. That got me my 250 calorie burn in itself. Then the other 250 calories, all I did was I just watched the kind of coffee I was ordering. So instead of 3 to 4 pumps of hazelnut syrup at Starbucks, maybe only give me 1 to 2. And instead of ordering that bagel or that donut, I just cut back, or I just had half of that bagel or that donut. And guess what? With doing that in itself, it didn't feel too restrictive. And that put my body in a fat burning state. So I figured out my TDEE. Then after figuring that out, I did a 500 calorie deficit. But for me, the bonus hack was splitting that deficit between physical movement and also your nutritional diet. Now, the next thing that helped me was basing my meals around protein. Now, we often hear that we need 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And really, that's the gold standard. But for someone like myself who at one time weighed 220 pounds, 223 pounds, I found that a challenge to get that much protein in. Even if I was getting 50 grams of protein in a meal, eating 3 times a day, that's only 150 grams of protein. Even if I had a 50 grams of protein shake, that's still only 200 grams. Of course, I'm hitting 200, but I'm still falling short of 223. But the thing is that you probably won't hear most of the time is you only need 0.7 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So as long as you're hitting 0.7, 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, you're going to be in a good place. As you're in that deficit, it's going to preserve muscle and it's going to keep you feeling more satiated, more full throughout the process, which is going to help you be more likely to achieve your goals. It's more sustainable overall. So building my meals around protein, and what this looked like for me in the morning, I had eggs, egg whites, because they're low in calories but high in protein. But I also had a few scrambled eggs in there, egg yolks as well. And I had every now and then I would do like some bacon or some turkey sausage or something to that degree. And then putting a scoop of protein in my oatmeal. In the lunchtime, I would do a protein shake. Dinner time, I'm doing ground beef, ground turkey, something like that. But it always was centered around protein. And that's what helped me out. The next thing that helped me out was priming my environment for success. Now, you may hear individuals talk about it, but for me, if I have snacks in my pantry, if there's a bag of M&Ms in that pantry and there's a bucket of trail mix, I don't have the self-discipline to just let it sit there. It's almost as if it's talking to me. Come eat me, Will. You know you want to, like I would demolish the snack. So the first thing I had to do was to prime my environment, remove those foods from my pantry. Because if the foods are not in the house, I'm less likely to eat it. I'm not going to go to the store and buy those items. But if it's in the house within a few feet in arm reach, of course, I'm more than likely to eat it. So I prime my environment for success. So instead of having that calorie baseless food, mindless food, I replace it with snacks such as Quest bars, protein chips. And again, these aren't as good, but they're a better option if you're a snacker like myself. And also priming my environment, I got my gym clothes ready. So when I woke up in the morning or when I got off of work at night, I didn't have to think about what am I going to wear to the gym. My gym bag was already ready. My shoes, my sneakers, everything was already set. All I had to do was grab my bag and go. So the point from this is the less decisions that you have to make, the less friction that there is, you're going to have more clarity and you're going to have more chance of success in reaching your goals. So prime your environment for success, and really the rest is inevitable. And I would say the last thing that I did that really helped me is I started tracking my sleep, because everyone thinks that we grow in the gym, and that's true to a certain degree. But really we grow outside of the gym. How are we fueling our bodies? But also how are we recovering? So when I started tracking my sleep, I started noticing that while I'm not falling into that deep sleep where my muscles can repair itself and recover. And once I started tracking it, because remember, you cannot improve what you do not measure. Once I started tracking that, then I was able to see not only, wow, I'm getting a much better quality sleep, but also I'm recovering and getting stronger in the gym. That's what really helped me. So sleep is important. So what helped me is some tips I can share with you. Buy some blackout curtains. The darker the room, the better. Make sure that your room is cold, because it shows that, or studies show that when our room is colder, we fall into a sleep that much faster. And I also had the eye mask as well, so no other light can go in, and some earplugs. Doing that will revolutionize your sleep. You'll have a much quality, deeper sleep, and it's going to help you. So these are the things that help me, and I would be remiss to say, of course you got to strength train. It's so many plans and workouts and things that are fancy that they tell us to do, but really it's overcomplicated. As long as you strength train 4 times a week, as long as you're lifting to failure, and as long as you're doing progressive overload week after week, that's all you need. Because the fitness industry has become overcomplicated with what kind of workouts you should do. And really, again, your body is built outside of the gym, how you fuel it and how you recover when you're sleeping. Think about it. You can work out all you want to 3 hours of the day, but if you treat your body wrong 21 hours of the day, which one is going to win, 21 or 3? Well, 21 is going to overcompensate 3 every single time. So don't overcomplicate this. Just progressive overload, lift to failure, and you're going to be good. And we could say the same is even true when it comes to dieting. Do I do intermittent fasting? Do I do keto? Do I do traditional, animal-based? It's so many diets, but what you got to realize is find out what works for you. And that's when I found out what worked for me. I tried the low carb. I didn't like low carb. I tried intermittent fasting. I saw a lot of results with intermittent fasting. But what worked for me is being a flexible diet lifestyle. And I say lifestyle because once you change the word diet to lifestyle, you understand that this is a part of you now. It's not something that you only do for once in a lifetime or for an event or for the new year or for a vacation. You do this just as you brush your teeth in normal hygiene. So it's a part of your lifestyle. Once you figure out what works for you, the rest will fall into place. So don't overcomplicate it. These are the things that help me to really get rid of my stubborn body fat. Knowing my numbers, my total daily energy expenditure, deducting 500 calories from that number, but splitting those calories between physical movement, but also my diet as well. I built my meals around protein. This kept my muscle on my frame, but it also kept me feeling fuller for a longer period of time. Of course, sleep cannot be overstated. We have to sleep because when we sleep and get quality sleep, that is when our muscles rebuild itself, that's when it repairs itself, and that's when we get rid of toxins. And also, don't overcomplicate the process on what diet you should do. Should I do paleo? Should I do keto? Should I do intermittent fasting? Find out what works for you. And once you find out what works for you, you're gonna realize that everything else is that much easy because it's your path, okay? And then lastly, you wanna make sure that you prime your environment for success. Take out the friction. You wanna make sure that you have more clarity. You're not making decisions. You wake up, you go, you're like a machine. These are the things that help me to get rid of that stubborn body fat. And I got a little bit more fat that I wanna burn before the spring and the summer. So I'm implementing these back into my routine again. So if you found this video helpful, leave me a big thumbs up to let me know that I'm on the right path. And hopefully this gives you a measure of success. I see you in the next one.